right, welcome back. This is the Epic Morning Show. In the studio with us, we have Kwaku Mintah, the Chief Accountant for West Africa Monetary Agency, WAMA, and he will be talking to us about how to finance a business. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and
We're happy to have you here.
I'm happy to
All
be
right.
here as well.
So, a lot of the people out there who are business people already have their pens and papers to note down some of the very important things you will be saying this morning. And so, let's start with financing a business. In your own experience, is there a universal way, a universal master plan kind of to finance a business, especially for startups?
Thank you so much, and let me say a big good morning to all listeners
Okay.
in Sierra Leone and beyond who have tuned in this morning to Epic Radio. It's an exciting moment, and I'm happy to be here.
Okay. You're welcome.
And yes, there is no, what I would say, a fits-all approach to financing business. And in financing business, I think that you, like your intro said, has to look at it from the personal perspective. Are you now going to start up the business, or you have a business and you need an injection of capital to keep the business going? I think these two main approaches will define your approach to what type of finance you need and how you approach the sources of those finance.
Okay, let's start with the startups because a lot of people out there are interested in business because they have this big idea, or some of them just have money and think they can make more if they invest in business. So, for startups, what are some of the ways that they could finance their business plan?
Thank you so much. To start, I would say that financing is one of the most crucial factors that one need to build a business. It's all not about money, but it's one of the most important critical resource that one need to build up his or her business. I mean, without financing, all your noble ideas, all your strategic thinking, all your talent, innovative ways of doing things will just remain plans without it taking off.
Okay.
And therefore, financing is core to every idea that is put in motion to become a business. Now, one may ask, before I answer the question, one may ask, what is financing business? So, what we are talking about is basically the process of sourcing resources to undertake a business activity. The process of sourcing resources to undertake a business activity. One would say, we are talking about finance. Why are you talking about resources?
Yeah, that's the question that came to mind.
So the question is that sometimes we will be able to start a business not necessarily when we have money. We can start a business with a talent. We can start a business with collaboration. We can start a business with cooperation.
So, all of those, can they be considered as sources of finance?
Very good.
Okay.
So if I have a talent, that talent can be a source of me financing my business. Now, let me give you a typical example. I want to have I want to establish a class for people who want to do remedial. I don't have a space. I don't have money to advertise. But I'm a mathematics student, a very good one, of course, and I can teach. I can start a business by that skill or talent by just having cooperation of others. What about if a friend of mine has a space and can provide a blackboard? What about if a friend of mine has a phone and can buy credits and advertise on it on his WhatsApp and get a group of students there? I can start a business. So it's about sourcing resources, not necessarily money. Of course, money is the crucial thing, and that's what we are going to talk about. So that is what I would say in the premise. But now, if you are a startup, you have an idea, you have a strategic mindset about something. There's a challenge you think you can turn to an opportunity. how do I start? And for us in Sierra Leone and for Africa, this has been one of the biggest setback of people burying their ideas and their talents and their innovative thinking without it becoming a business or something that will bring resources.
Okay.
I will talk about series or levels of sourcing financing for a startup.
Okay.
But basically, there are three types of finances that will be available for somebody who want to start a business. So we can talk about personal financing,
Okay.
we can talk about corporate financing, and we can talk about public or government financing. Let me take a minute to explain.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So if I have an idea, a business idea, and I want to start up, I can have finances from individuals, from myself, from individuals who can help me start up those business. So those sorts of finances are personal finances. Then we can have corporate finances. I can go to the bank, I can go to a micro finance company, I can go to a susu company, I can go to a venture capital company to source funds to start up my business. That is another source. Then the last one is the public or government financing. And that is where I think that the youths who have noble ideas on business startup should research into and get themselves. There are a lot of government grants in various sectors of the economy that one can explore. And all you need to do is to research, meet the criteria, and you can get finances to start up. So those are the three basic source that is available for people who want to start up businesses.
With access to funds, access to capital, this has been quite a challenge if you look at our entrepreneurial space. And that challenge, there is a crucial dilemma there because aspiring entrepreneurs think access to capital is a major barrier to what they are trying to get. Whereas there are people who believe that access to capital isn't the real problem. The problem is how to manage that capital. Where do you stand on that?
Well, the answer is yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because the avenues of sourcing capital is so much limited in our space, such that you have to be resourceful, research well, put your house together before you can access capital. And the reason why people say is that is one of the most crucial challenge in setting up a business because of the costs of sourcing those capital.
Okay.
No, because there are really laid down avenues that one can source financing for startup especially. But most people have not to feed their minds to those sources. And probably that's why we are here this morning, to educate people, to expose people, especially the young ones who have business ideas and want to put it on the road to become a reality.
Yeah, and so in accessing finance also, one of the problems is that there are people who believe that entrepreneurs can either go and borrow money or start with their own capital with maybe savings.
Yeah.
Which of the two is a very good business practice, you could say?
Thank you. So we will go through a number of sources of financing, and what you said, borrowing and starting a business with your own funds or your savings, they are all means by which one can start capital. Now let me also emphasize that apart from the sources that I talked about, the personal, the corporate, and the government, we also have two main criteria of financing. We have the debt financing. I don't want to be more theoretical here. I want to be very practical and simple. We have debt financing and you have equity financing. Now, for the layman, to explain it to the layman, debt financing is where you take money to finance a business and you pay it back later without you losing any of your business ownership.
Say, for example, loan to the bank.
Say loan from the bank.
Okay.
Say from your savings.
Okay.
When you take a loan from the bank and you pay off the loan, if your business is worth 20 million loans, you still have 20 million loans worth of a business. Then we have equity finance. Equity finance is where you source financing to your business and somebody take part ownership of the business. So for instance, I want to start a mobile phone business and I have 20 million loans, and somebody says, okay, I will give you 10 million loans to go to Dubai or to go to Nigeria or to go somewhere to source the sources, but I owe 10% of your business or I owe 50% of your business, which means that whenever you make a profit or your bottom line, you don't owe the total of the business. The person have a share there. That's the equity finance.
That 10% share.
Very good.
Because he helped you raise some of your capital.
Very good. Very good. In a very complex economies, we have the stock exchange, where somebody can float shares, and or he can go to venture capital, and then they will finance the business and have part of it. In fact, individuals can also give you money and owe part of the business, and can also give you money as loan and you pay it back. So you can source these things from debt or equity, and those avenues are also avenues that one can explore, because you see, it's always better to own 1% of 10 billion loans than to own 100% of 1 million loans.
That's quite deep. Just break it down for us a bit. What's the logic behind that?
So the logic behind is that you might have a brilliant business idea. You don't have the means to explore that business idea. Now, if you have 1 million loans, the 1 million loan will build you a business empire of only 1 million. But if somebody is ready to give you 50 million loans and tell you that you own 10% of that 50 million loans, you are better off than somebody having given you that money for you to explore your potential and your idea, to owe the 10 million or 50 million, 10% of 50 million, rather than owning the 100% of 1 million.
And that 10% of 50 million is 5 million.
Very good.
So meaning you have more.
You are better.
For people who are out there now and they want to start a business and they're listening to you this morning, what will be your message in terms of how they go about dealing with the finances of that business plan that they have?
Thank you so much. We've talked this morning about other many sources of financing a startup. If you have a business idea and you are thinking about starting a business, my message to you is that don't be deterred by the fact that you don't have the money to start a business. There are many avenues that you can explore to have that business set up. If you believe in the business, you have passion for it, you have the edge for the business, go for it. Don't let that business remain plans on the decks. Somebody else will take it up and make money out of it. And years down the line, you will regret not taking an action. So if you have a business idea, my sister, my brother, pick up yourself this morning. We've talked about many sources of financing. One of them might have stuck into your mind. Make a move and you'll have it.
Thank you very much. You were just listening to Kwaku Mintah, who is the Chief Accountant for the West Africa Monitoring Agency. And this morning, we've been talking about how to finance a business. This is the Epic Morning Show, and Business Week continues here. So, one for say boku thank you to Mr. Mintah, and to everybody out there on the listen. We're not going to stay with you, because when we come next, it's sports and entertainment, and then we'll go straight to the papers.